All right, San Diego Comic-Con was all online this year and it was all free. And we've been to a few. We'll talk to you about it. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and Comic Con from San Diego, which is the big Comic Con. I've never been to that one specifically, but I have been to some of the regional comic conventions, which have big stars and give you inside information on programs coming up in the science fiction genre. Have happened for quite a few years, and we've gone to a few, met some of the people, some of them very nice. This particular one smacks of disappointment because, first of all, obviously you don't get to see them in person, and you don't get to see them as natural as they might be because all of these panels are zoomed. So they are at their home or someplace where they have access to a computer, and on top of that, it's not a live Zoom session. The Zoom meeting is taped, and then they censor it in case one of the participants accidentally says something that reveals a bit of the plot. That's cut out. Now, in actual Comic-Con situations, there are people that are there, they are live. If they say something that is revealing, that immediately gets written up by journalists who are there and by fans who tweet and comment on other places on just how Comic-Con is going. So we've missed this because nobody is actually there in person. We're all seeing the same thing, and what we're seeing is just what they're letting us see. We did find out that, according to Heather Caden and Alex Kurtzman, who are currently the showrunners for most of things called Star Trek, there is a new animated series they've talked about that's going to go on the Nickelodeon channel called Star Trek Prodigy. And what this is about is there are some unruly teenagers who find a derelict starship and go joyriding, I guess. I'm not quite sure exactly what they do, but they use this starship in order to travel from place to place, and they have adventures. This is going to be a different kind of animation that we've seen from the Lower Decks cartoon. This is actually 3D animation, and so it will look more like the Toy Story type animation that we have seen in most recent years. So that's coming sometime in the near future to the Nickelodeon channel. Now, we know already that August 6th is going to be the premiere of Star Trek Lower Decks, and there was a panel of that. I don't think that they gave us too much they didn't want us to know, but we have heard from one of the voice actors that a number of the episodes are going to be taking place on the holodeck. Now, we've already seen in the preview where what they're doing was servicing the holodeck, but it's possible that they also have some recreation there, and they're using that as a way of letting us get to know the characters and to have a little fun. These are people who are in the lower decks. That is to say, they're ensigns that are hoping for promotion. They don't have the most important job. They've revealed that the Cerritos, which is the name of this Starfleet vessel, doesn't make first contacts, but does make second contacts. The type of contact where you fill out all the paperwork, you make sure that the name of the planet is pronounced correctly, and things like this. You establish the actual diplomatic relations beyond the first contact. And so that in itself is kind of a less than terribly important job that the ship has to do. And so the lower decks people are even less so. And some of them are worthy of promotion and some of them aren't. They described the main character there, who is the woman who makes all the trouble, as kind of the class clown who is that way because she's done all the work and knows it all and is bored. And this is kind of how this character goes. And They describe some of the other characters too. The Doctor, who is the cat character, has is a very capable doctor, but has a bad bedside manner. The captain is one of these kind of people who is insistent upon being in control, but kind of suspects that everybody's doing pretty much what they do. And also a first officer who is kind of an egotist. And so some of these things, they don't really do anything to hurt the Trek universe, according to the producers, but they do kind of show some human foibles. And so that should be kind of interesting of the Star Trek Lower Decks. They are the unsung heroes of the Federation, shall we say. There was another panel on the a table read, actually, of the last episode, Act 1 of Star Trek Discovery. And what was interesting about that was, while that they were reading their parts, and all of them through Zoom once again, they did have animatics and some artist drawings and some not completely rendered graphics in order to show you how they got from where they started to where they ended up. That was rather interesting to watch. And this is all being archived on cbs.org. You can watch it yourself and find it maybe kind of interesting. Not overly, but something to watch, something interesting to pass along. Star Trek Picard gave away the least. They did not say anything about Season 3. They talked a lot about Season 2. And in that panel, they had most of the regular characters. And there was a lot of cheerful joking around, especially on the part of Brent Spiner and Marina Sirtis. They were poking fun on just about a lot of it going toward Patrick Stewart, who took it in good humor. So this is where we stand so far with what we know about what's coming up from the San Diego ComiCon. We're keeping a watch out to see if anything pops up that we haven't seen so far. Anyway, do check out CBS.com. I believe that they have the table reads for not only for Star Trek Discovery, but also for Star Trek Picard. It might be of some interest to you. Very soon, we're going to have the first episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, and we'll have a review of each episode of that as it is released. Meantime, we will pass on anything else that we find out from San Diego Comic-Con. And in the meantime, remember to subscribe if you will. We appreciate you doing that. It helps the channel move along. And also, if you need to know when the next video is going to get to you, just click the bell icon, and that will notify you whenever the next video comes your way from The Oldest Nerd. And until then, don't go far.